Hello everyone and welcome to your healing subscription for today. Happy New Year! I hope you had a wonderful New Year's and that you had lots of fun celebrating whatever you did, or that you just had some quiet time. I'm not really one to celebrate all of these funny business. I'm usually in bed quite early, and for me it's just another night. But for any of you who have celebrated New Year's, I hope you had a ball. So yes, what's your New Year's resolutions? Do you do that? I don't. Anyway, I'm lucky enough to have some load shedding yet again. So welcome to South Africa, where we are out of power. So to conserve power, I'm using my phone to just do a voice note. And then what I will do is I will put it all together when power comes back again, so that it's a video and that you can see everything that we're working with. In today's session, I'm working with the remote healing chart that I lovingly dub Bob, and I'm working with the Tachyons. So let's start off by tuning into the light code for today's session. So maybe close your eyes, take a nice slow deep breath in and out, perhaps inhaling through the nose and exhaling through an open, relaxed mouth. Inhale and exhale, and just coming to a nice quiet space. Think about what it is that you would like to let go of. What would you like to receive? What would you like to heal in today's session? And when you feel that you've got that all in place, then open your eyes if your eyes were closed, and allow your eyes to gently rest on the light code for today, so that we all tuned into the same one. This light code is also on the chart. I placed it on the solar plexus point on the chart, so that's our power point and our connection. And so just allow your eyes to trace that light code, or just let it rest where it does. And think about what you would like to call in, what would you like to release, what would you like to heal. And as always, if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Okay, so I have already dowsed what tachyons need to go where, and I have not done the analysis. As always, I'm doing the analysis live while I'm doing the recording, so that way I get to read the energy of the group as well as the energy of the chart as we go along. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have here. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the chart and work my way up. I think I always do that. On the Earth star point, we have an indigo sphere, and it's sitting, you won't see this, but it's sitting on indigo miniature madrigon. Madrigon is a triangle with a little triangle inside. We've actually got 3 other madrigons on the chart, so you'll see them when we get to them, the orange, yellow, and there's an aqua one. And so the madrigon brings energy in through a spiritual level, and then filters that through into the physical, mental, emotional levels. The sphere itself usually brings in quite an earthy energy. It's a nurturing, mothering, holding energy, and it's a really good balancing point. The indigo color is actually a really good color to have here. That's about the color that we want the Earth star to be, for it to be fully functioning and active. And so what the Earth star does, it works like a big vacuum cleaner, where it sucks down any negative energies or dense energies, and it breaks it down, either composts it or breaks it down or converts it into healthy, positive, good energy that we can use, and it recycles that energy through into the auric field. Anything that it can't recycle, it then pushes into the Earth. So if your Earth star is not functioning properly, then there can be a lot of debris that can build up within the system. So good color to have here, good shape to have here, and yeah, good placement. Then on the ankles and between the ankles, we have rainbow spiral pyramids. These are normal and standard for any balance that we do using tachyons, and that is to draw out any electrosmog or any radio frequency, televisions, microwave ovens, cell phones, computers, all of those types of crappy computer energies that we are dealing with on a daily basis. It pulls that out through the soles of the feet, and that will be directed into the Earth Star. So those are standard. On the knees, or actually let's start with between the knees. Between the knees, we've got a clear tree of life. This is a standard one that we place down. Normally we just check whether it faces up or down. This one's facing down, so this is the right way around. So it's actually upright. And so that's, I've got no issues here. I'm actually quite happy with that placement. Then on the knees, we've got indigo spiral suns. Now, spiral suns are quite common on the knees. Indigo, not usually so common. So when indigo pops up on the knees, it usually indicates that the person is on a spiritual journey, usually that you are on the right track. Now, if we're tracking the energies that we had before, we had a rough number of months and weeks in the past. So I think also with our last session we had a really positive read on the Book of Doors. And so this is actually really nice because here it shows us that I think we're on track. We are, whatever held us back the last few months, that has shifted on some level, and the path is open, so we can now move on to this spiritual path. And just if we go further up onto the hip points, we've got the green spiral suns. So the combination here would also really indicate that, because the green spiral suns would indicate new beginnings and new movement. This is also about flexibility to approach in the future and letting go of the past. So the green here is really healthy and beautiful to have, especially when combined with the indigo spiral suns that we've got on the knees. The base chakra has a red spiral sun, so color-wise and shape-wise, that's perfect. So from a base perspective, our survival, our grounding, our home, our roots and things like that, there's actually not much that I feel worried about. As a collective, as a group here, we are all on track there. And the beautiful thing is that the ovary points that sits just above the base chakra, those are orange spiral suns, which is a good color to have here, and it's also a really good shape. So it could indicate, and this, especially when we combine it with the green, that there's definitely a new beginning here, new movement, new creativity, maybe new projects. I think, if I remember correctly, in our last session with the Book of Doors, I think there was something about new beginnings and new creations, I think, if I remember correctly. So this is echoing that from our last session a week ago, and this would show us that, I mean, it's actually really awesome to have this combination of the red, the green and the orange and the indigo, because it really shows that we're starting a new direction, new chapter, new slate, and it fits in beautifully with It's a New Year as well. Then the Hara point just above the orange spiral suns, we have a magenta spiral sun and a magenta sphere. Now sphere and magenta on the Hara is actually a good color, it's a good shape. Usually we'll get a xyluris, which is a small little donut shape coming up to hold the sphere in place. But in this case, we've got a spiral sun. So the spiral sun for me would indicate that we need to get a little bit more into the physical. So the Hara point is actually an energetic point, and it's our grounding and our rooting into, it'll anchor into the Earth Star, and it will connect up to our individuation point, which is right on top. And so the Hara would be that center point between those 2 points. Now, to get the the spiral sun here would indicate that we need to anchor in. So yes, our Hara is connected, but the Hara point also needs to be grounded and rooted and anchored, and almost like we need to get back into the physical space. Very important to get into physicality and perhaps into action. The magenta color is a nourishing, nurturing, beautifully healing color. So color wise, I'm not too worried here. So far the spread, or what we've got here, there's no worries. However, so having said that, then we get to the sacral chakra, and the sacral has an orange matrigon in place here. Now, orange color, that is correct, that's right, so no issues there. But what's happening is on the mental, emotional, and physical level, the sacral chakra is okay, but on a spiritual level, sacral chakra is actually depleted. So if we're going to bring in our new creations and our new beginnings and our new creative ways of doing things, as we've seen with ovary points, then we need to fill up the spiritual aspect of the sacral, which is what's happening with this tachyon in place. The tachyon just above the sacral would be related to the gut, so small intestine, large intestine, and here we have a gold sphere, and it's sitting on a gold xylurus. So the xylurus here in this case, it's like sort of, okay, we can let that go. Gold is about bringing joy in. It brings a lot of light into a place. So it's about perhaps the whole New Year's Christmas story we need to flush out of our system over here. It's about cleaning out, it's about clearing out, it's about letting go. Xylurus can be about inner child stuff, especially when you combine with a sphere. Sphere can also be inner child stuff. So it might be that there's some inner child stuff that needs to be released, or it could just be a general cleanse or clear that's needed for after this holiday season. And I've gone on a very healthy route with juicing a lot and doing a lot of raw food and vegetables and fruit and all of that. But when the season came, there was all kinds of things. There were pizzas and all kinds of things, all vegetarian, but still going more onto the junk foody, yummy food. So now it's going to be back to all the healthy stuff. Okay, so then on the solar plexus point, we have a yellow matrigon, same as with the sacral. Color wise it's perfect. Shape wise, on the physical, mental, emotional level, the solar plexus is okay, but on the spiritual level, energy is lacking. So for us to get to where we need to be, we need to pump more spiritual energy into the sacral and into the solar plexus. Solar plexus is about that, your personal power, your individuality, your center of self. Then an interesting thing happens here on the liver point, which is on the right hand side of the body, and the spleen pancreas point, which is on the left hand side of the body. Color wise, these two have flipped. So I would expect to see the pine green or the light green on the liver side, and I would expect to see the gold on the spleen pancreas side, but in this case it actually flipped. So the liver is about our anger and things like that. It's also about processing and just releasing, and also detoxing. The pancreas and the spleen, if we go look at the spleen, that's associated with the lymphatic system, which is all about purifying, cleansing and all of that. And the pancreas is about getting the sugar levels balanced within the body. So the sweetness of life, getting too much sweetness, like overly indulgent or overly indulging, or undernourished, overloved, underloved, that type of thing. So the sense I'm getting is perhaps coming back to the whole season of celebration and joy and whatever, is that perhaps we've indulged a little bit too much, and the body's wanting to detox and detoxify and let go of what's no longer serving, by having the gold on the liver where we can shine that light on and really shine through. And this is physical level stuff because it's the spiral suns for both of them. And on this the spleen and pancreas side, it's really about bringing some nurturing and gentleness in, so that we can give them a little bit of a pause, so that whatever you've been doing this holiday season, that we can clear that out, flush that out, and so we can start afresh, new. Then on the diaphragm point, we've got a lilac sphere, and lilac usually would indicate some deep healing or nurturing, and it probably here is about a reminder of breathing really, really slow and consciously, and just doing that on a regular basis, slow, deep, conscious breathing. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say there. On the heart, we've got a rainbow spiral pyramid. Normally, I would see a 12-sided rainbow pyramid. So to get a spiral pyramid here would indicate that I think things need to be shaked up a little bit, or shaken up a little bit. Heart here would be about forgiveness, compassion, love, self-love, acceptance, and all of those things. So perhaps if you did indulge a little bit, I know for myself, where I've indulged a little bit more in naughty foods and things like that, it really is about giving yourself the compassion and to go like, you know what, I'm human, I'm allowed to celebrate every now and again, I'm allowed to have a little bit of fun, I'm allowed to let my hair down. We obviously don't want to make that a habit. We want to be able to live a healthy life, and that's all personal choice as well. For me it is. And so I want to just make sure that I'm living a healthy life for myself, but I don't want to get rigid and stuck in it. So this is about letting go of that guilt, and perhaps if there was any guilt, or anything where you go, or perhaps regrets, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. So it's just a slightly different shape that we have here on the heart, but it does release it sort of shake things up a little bit. On the lung points, we've got gold tree of lives. Now the tree of life usually brings structure in. It's not uncommon to actually get this one on the lung points, or on the hip points. Gold is really about bringing that light in. Perhaps there was on some level some grieving from the past year, maybe even from the past 2 or 3 years, and this would show that there's that light at the end of the tunnel, or the little silver lining on the dark cloud. And so this is that reminder of this. Or it could be that we're needing to clear out the lungs, whatever. Okay, then on the thymus, we've got an aqua madrigon. Color-wise, it's good. Madrigon over here is good. It's not like a bad one, but as with the solar plexus and the sacral, it's almost like the physical, mental, emotional levels are okay, but the spiritual body needs to catch up. Then we have an aqua tree of life on the throat. Now usually we've got an aqua semisphere on the throat. So when we get the tree of life, we see this as our personal lie detector, especially since I've got 2 points just underneath that one, the lung points. It's also got the tree of life, so it forms this triangle over the lungs and the throat, and we've actually got it on the temple points as well. The temples would normally get a different type of one, so we've got this interesting sort of elongated pyramid shape. So if you had to draw a line from the magenta tree of life to the gold tree of life, to the gold, and to the magenta, and then fill it up as a rectangle, and the aqua would be the apex or the point of the pyramid. So we've actually got an elongated pyramid over here. The fact that we've got so many tree of lives coming up here, this for me is showing that something significant is having to change here, because yes, the tree of life brings in structure, but we also call the tree of life our personal lie detector. So the lie detector here it goes both ways. I don't want to say force, it influences the wearer or the user, or in this case, you all receiving this healing. It influences the person to be more truth-speaking. And truth-speaking here, when I talk about truth-speaking, is not just verbal. This is just the way that you express yourself in all forms and shapes of life. And so it's about you stepping into authenticity and being your authentic self, and allowing the world to see who you are as an authentic being. And the way I see it is, if they don't like it, they can move on. If they like it, they'll be attracted to the real you, not the fake you or the masked you. The fact that we've got these 5 sitting over the lungs, the throat, and the temples for me really means in this year, in 2023, it is 2023, sorry, it's like we're still new here. 2023, this is really about dropping the masks, dropping the facade, allowing people to see you as you. as an authentic and vulnerable self. And remember, when we talk about vulnerability, you can choose who you want to be vulnerable with. You don't be vulnerable with the whole entire world, but authenticity you can be with the entire world. So that blue tree of life here would, for me, tell me that it's really about speak your truth, be your truth, live your truth, and be authentically you. Then we've got our Bermuda blue and our peacock igloos on the carotid artery and on the ear points. Those are normal standard tachyons with normal standard meanings, and their purpose is to bring balance to the body, and also on the carotid arteries to activate and stimulate the vagus nerve so that we can step into that parasympathetic nervous system and be really calm and cool. The magenta tree of lives, I have mentioned them already on the temples. Usually we would get 12-sided pyramids here, and so again this would, I think, play that role in unmasking. The magenta is saying be gentle with yourself, be nurturing. You don't have to rip the mask off and be like really painful about it. Do it gently, be gentle with yourself. Then on the third eye we have let me just check the color. Yeah, it is. I wanted to double check that. It's an amethyst or violet purple sphere sitting on a, now I'm only seeing that. It's sitting on a violet or a purple spiral sun, similar to the hara. And the crown also has that same pattern, except that the crown is slightly different, where it's got a clear spiral sun and it's got an opalescent sphere. So there's a slight difference there. But with all of these, where we have these spiral suns with the sphere, it really is about getting active or getting into the physical body. So here, having the amethyst on the pineal would indicate for me that the pineal gland maybe is a little bit underactive. Perhaps you didn't get enough sleep. Perhaps serotonin levels are down. Melatonin levels are down. Or whatever it may be, but energy levels a little bit low on the pineal, so we want to just raise that frequency. And this is on the physical level, and we're doing it in a gentle way with the sphere. On the crown, clear is okay for the crown. It's like clear, it's white, whatever. But the opalescent would indicate that it's almost like we're opening a portal or connecting to past life, karmic or ancestral healing that's coming through the crown chakra. Now, looking at the crown chakra from a physical point of view, because we've got the spiral sun, that would be the pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary gland controls all of the other glands in the entire body, and it tells all of the other glands what to do, when to do, how to do. So it's your central control system working with the hypothalamus. And so on the pituitary hypothalamus level, on this physical, actual, real level, there is some form of healing that's taking place that is karmic, ancestral, or genetic, as in you got it from your parents, or it could be past life related. Then on the individuation point, we have a clear sphere with a clear mini matricon underneath it, which is, it echoes. Oh, okay, and it's pointing down. So it's actually completely echoing and mirroring what's happening in the Earth star. So, yeah, that's, in color-wise, that's good over there, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, then what wanted to come through on the the vertebral reflexes, these are 3 tree of lives, indigo, a yellow, and a green. And this is on spleen meridian, kidney meridian, and liver meridian, where we wanted to do a bit of work. Now, the vertebral reflexes are what we sometimes call fixations. This is where the body or the mind or some function gets fixated on something, or it gets stuck on something. So spleen is about anxiety. Liver is about anger, and kidney is about fear. So anxiety, fear, and anger. Now, I don't know what this means for you, But if I look back at the energies we've had in the last year or so, especially the last year, perhaps even 6 months, the energies were really, really dense, and it is possible that we are carrying some residual anxiety, fear, or anger from that time, and it's time to actually let it go, so that fixations need to go. Then on a dimension level, and we don't need to understand the dimensions, we have 3 spheres. So we've got a red sphere on the first dimension, we have a yellow sphere on the 3rd dimension, and then we have an aqua sphere on the 9th dimension. So 9th dimension, I think the closest that we can bring or connect with on something that you may understand would be sort of the Arcturian energy, or even the lower end of the Andromedan energies. 3D, we all know 3D, this is like physicality. 1D, I don't think our brains can really concept or get a concept of that. But it's this where it's almost like not in the void, but it's just as like the Big Bang or something, that central one point, that point of creation. And so there's a red on that one, yellow on 3D, and then aqua on the 9th. Okay, so that is analysis-wise what's happening here. So I am going to do some work here. I'm doing a general session, so let me actually talk you through what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is to do a clearing, to flush the energy through, to move the energy through, and then the analysis I'm actually giving you now. Usually in an in-person session I would give the analysis to the client afterwards, and then what I'll do is, once I've done the work, I will draw a card or two, or see if there's a message that's going to come with this work. Okay, so whatever there's going to be, I will let you know. Okay, so I've done the work and I checked to see if there's a message or if I could draw a card. So the angel cards, the original angel cards, came up as cards to draw, and while I was shuffling the cards, the one card just flew right out and it landed straight face up, and I was like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. So this is Angel of Communication, and the affirmation that we have here is, I express clearly the voice and wisdom of my heart. I express clearly the voice and wisdom of my heart. I express clearly the voice and wisdom of my heart. So the message that the card itself says, when we meet someone and connect with his or her inner light, we allow the most wonderful communication to happen, be it with words, gestures, with a smile, or even in silence. Communication inspired by soul radiates interaction and synchronicity in our lives. Then as I was shuffling some more, another card fell out, and this one fell out face down, so I couldn't see what it was, but I turned it around, and this is the Angel of Faith. The affirmation that we have here is, I have an unshakable faith in the inner power of my soul. I have an unshakable faith in the inner power of my soul. I have an unshakable faith in the inner power of my soul. The message reads, faith is revealed whenever we open ourselves to our soul's love and wisdom. This openness brings with it a certainty that heals any doubt or hesitation. When we walk in faith, the universe gives us the support we need, and we discover an inner strength that removes barriers and allows light to come through. So see how these two cards connect with your intention and your focus for today's session, and what this means for you as well in the coming weeks. So I would say the best way to close off this session would be to do some eye rotations. And I'm not sure if you remember that, but let's just talk you through that. You're going to be tapping on the mastoid process behind your ears. So from the earlobes, if you just trace your fingers to the back of your ears, there's a round, flat bone. And so you're going to just use 1 or 2 fingers and just tap that bone. And then imagine there's a big box in front of you, like a screen or something. And you're going to place your eyes in the top of this box. So you're looking up. Your head is not moving. Then you look to the corner of the box. Stretch your eyes as far as you can. Look to the middle side of the box. Stretch your eyes. Look to the bottom corner of the box. Stretch your eyes. Look to the bottom middle of the box. Stretch the eyes. And then to the opposite corner. Stretch your eyes. Then to the middle and to the corner. And then back to the top. And then reverse your direction to the corner, to the side, to the bottom corner, to the middle bottom, to the other corner on the bottom, to the side, and up corner and middle, and you can done with that. So then stop tapping and eyes are done, and then we are good to go. I am just going to quickly check in if there's any homework for us to do, and then let me just quickly pause and see what homework comes up. Okay, so I had a quick look through my very extensive list of homeworks that came up, and what came up for you is sports and exercise. And when I looked at what specific sports or exercise, if there was anything specific, it basically came up with body weight exercises or things that you can do anywhere. So when we look at body weight exercises, we're looking at something like push-ups, crunches, burpees, planks, lunges, calf raises, Supermans, handstands, headstands, all kinds of things like that. So I'm not going to tell you what exercises to do. I'll leave that up to you so that you can decide what would work for you, or perhaps you want to find a YouTube channel or YouTube video where they focus on body weight exercises, and see how you can implement this for yourself in the coming weeks. It doesn't have to be a long exercise regime. It could be a few minutes a day, or maybe just once a week. Just see what works for you. So that is your homework, and I'm wishing you a really beautiful new year ahead. And I'm so excited to be working with you in this coming year. And let's see what we can do about raising the energy and making 2023 a better year than 2022. Sending you lots of love and light. Take care. Bye.